Hey everyone, this video is an introduction into human reproduction, the new video series that I'm working on. Then I will follow it with assisted conception. So if you're interested, you like this idea, just press like and subscribe to this channel to see the coming videos. The reproductive system is the only system in your body that was not mainly created to keep you alive, neither for your pleasure. Apart from the external part of it, it's there to maintain human existence by a process called reproduction. So reproduction simply means the production of a new offspring that carrying their parent genes. The reproduction process in many organisms doesn't go the same hard way that mammals take to reproduce. In many unicellular organisms, reproduction doesn't need a partner, a wink and blink, a dim light and a romantic night. A simple mitotic division is all it takes, just like any cell in your body. Reproduction in bacteria, for example, starts when the DNA of the bacterium divides into two daughter cells. Each daughter cell have identical DNA to the parent cell, and these two cells then divide to another two cells and so on. But in human, reproduction is fairly complex, and the recipe for that includes gametes production, the sperm and the oocyte, then the interaction between the sperm and oocyte to form a zygote, and a suitable environment for subsequent development and birth to occur, and good proper lactation, and any failure at any of these stages could end up in infertility. The reproductive system in human involves the primary internal 6 organs, the gonads, which called the testes in the male and ovary in the female, the gametes they produce, the sperm and egg, the various 6 hormones, testosterone and estrogen, the hypothalamus and pituitary glands that control and help the gonad to do what they have to do. In males, spermatogenesis, the process of sperm production, starts at puberty, and the entire spermatogenic process is very long, lasts for more than 70 days. Fertile men produce millions of sperm every day, estimated at 1,000 per second. You have produced a few thousand since you clicked on this video. Congratulations, keep watching. But how males produce this huge number of cells every day? Within the testes, the germ cells multiply first by repeated mitotic divisions and then by meiosis to produce spherical haploid spermatids. So each germ cell ends up producing 4 cells. Then these spermatids transform into elongated, highly condensed, and mature sperm in a process called spermiogenesis. We will discuss this later in details in another video. On the other hand, the mitotic activity starts much earlier in the ovary compared to the testes. At 6 weeks of gestation, the primordial germ cells migrate to the genital ridge and start multiplying by mitotic division. Until 20 weeks of gestation, the number reached the peak of 6 to 7 million in both ovaries. Then the ovaries start losing these germ cells. The number dropped to around 1 million at birth, 400,000 at puberty, and only 400 to 500 follicle will ovulate during a woman's reproductive life. The development of primordial follicle into pre-ovulatory follicle within the ovary takes approximately 6 months in a process called folliculogenesis. At the follicular stage of each menstrual cycle, 5 follicles in each ovary start to fight to be the dominant, but unfortunately, usually 1 or 2 will win the fight and ovulate an egg. Eggs are ovulated into fallopian tubes where it's supposed to meet her life partner if there is any, but to be honest, eggs are usually picky. They want to select the best, the fittest sperm at the moment. But try to imagine how hard it is for the sperm that run the whole long marathon to reach the oocyte and not being selected. Anyway, the lucky sperm will get inside the oocyte and fertilize it, form the zygote. Then begins a course of cell division which marks the beginning of embryonic development. The embryo continues to develop as it passes through the oviduct and into the uterus, where the mature blastocyst hatches, implants, and continues to develop into a fully formed fetus. At birth, the fetus is expelled from the uterus and passes through the cervix, down the vagina, and then the baby is born, and that's the good end of the story. That was just an introduction into human reproduction. If you're interested to know more about what happened in each event, keep an eye on the channel and wait me for a new video. Salam.